Hokie dokie. In this problem, they give us a huge statement, and we are just going to break down what we need to do. So they basically give us some information about the number of people infected, recovered, and still susceptible at day 30. And the idea is, with those values along with the A value and the information required to identify what our B value is, we will find what S prime, I prime, and R prime are, or will be in this case. Then they say use Euler's method to predict the susceptible, infected, and recovered on day 31. So just the next day after day 30, right? So all we need to do really is find the susceptible on day 31 will come from finding the susceptible on day 30, which they tell us is 240,113. And so on top of that value, we will add the amount or the rate of change for the susceptible. We will add the amount that it's predicted to change by per day. And then we multiply that by the change in days. But the change in days is just from 30 to 31, so it's just a change of 1. So this corresponds to our y of 0. So in other words, to predict y of 1, or to estimate y1, we start at y0 and we add the y prime times the step size. So this is like the Euler's method we saw in the last problem, but really it's much easier because all we need to do, because the step size is 1, is just basically add S plus S prime. And then we'll do the same for all the remaining ones. The I will be I plus I prime, and R will be R plus R prime. So really, they give us the S, I, and R values. We just need to find the primes, all the S prime, I prime, and R prime. So let's talk through it. So S prime is first. S prime will be negative A. They give us our A. So 6.61 times 10 to the negative 7. You can write it like that. I prefer to use the decimal, which means we will have 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 6, 6, 1. And so the idea is if it was originally after the first 6, we'd move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places back. That's why it's to the negative 7. All right, let's keep rolling. This is our A value. And so we need negative A, so I'll just tack on a negative in front of that. We need the I, the number of infected, which is 6858. We need the number of susceptible, which again is 240,113. Awesome. All right, so that's S prime. So once we calculate that, we'll just tack that on to this value and we'll be done. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and find the I prime and R prime value. So we will do the same thing. I'm just going to copy this to save time, because this becomes the first part of I prime. And I'll shrink it down, tack on this. Again, the A is positive in this, so I'll leave it as a positive. Then we're subtracting BI. So B, if you remember from before, if you recall, 25 days to recover tells us that B will be 1 over 25. It's always the 1 divided by the number of days to recover. So we have minus B, 1 over 25, times I, which is the infected, so still 6858. And then the R prime will be our last one. And the R prime will really just be the positive version of what we've just written out. So I will just take this, because this will be R prime. And so I'll skip ahead and go ahead and calculate these values and then just talk through what'll happen. Alrighty, so now after having calculated these values, we'll just put them in a little space over here. So we have S prime, I prime, and R prime. So I will rewrite these here. Negative 1088-ish. I prime is 814. And R prime is 274. So again, for each of these, say for S, to approximate the susceptible at day 31, we take the susceptible at day 30 plus the rate of change, in other words, negative 1088, because this rate of change is telling us how much the susceptible should change in one day. And so for approximating the susceptible at day 31, we really just add these. So we'll take 240, 113, and just subtract the 1088. So we get 239. And then, yeah, they're calling it 024. So I think I got 025. Yeah, but that's all right. It's close enough. So we pick the closest answer to the susceptible, and that's just the susceptible. So we keep going. I prime, or I guess I at day 31, will be the initial infected at day 30, so 6858, plus whatever the rate of change in the infected is. So 814, so we add these together. 6858 plus 815 or 814, and we get 7672. All right, so can we start narrowing down some answers? 7672, they've rounded up to 73. It's definitely not that, definitely not that, definitely not that. And I think we already got this for the susceptible, so it looks like B might be our answer. Let's go ahead and show this last bit, though. So the number of recovered we hadn't used yet, but that's 2199. And so R at day 31 would be 2199 plus the 274, the rate of change in recovered. So 2199 plus, I think, 274 would be 2473, so 2473. All right, let's see if we have an answer. 2473 looks good. Break out the eraser to see that B is our answer. Okie dokie. I'll do one more example. I'll try to do it faster. Feel free to check it out in the next video.